Hello and welcome to another of our sessions. This afternoon, I have the most amazing Joey Coppedge from Fertility Nutrition Coaching, who is going to talk to us a little bit about fertility nutrition and how to coach you around it, hence the name of his company. I've known Joey for a little bit. We are both obviously involved in this industry, helping people in different ways. And as you know, at San Diego Fertility Center, we look at this holistically. We want you as an intended parent to have the ability to really understand all of the different factors and variables involved. So welcome. And Joey, welcome. Welcome to our
Hello.
panelists. It's the first one we've done with a nutritionist, so I'm feeling very excited about that.
It's about time.
Yourself. I know, right? Sorry, it's taken me a while. Why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, my name is Joey Coppedge. I am the fertility nutrition coach. I started doing this very, specific, niche of nutrition coaching a few years ago when I was, before I was a fertility nutrition coach, I was just a nutrition coach. I was working with a handful of women who all of a sudden I was working with a group of people, and then all of a sudden a handful of them were either trying to get pregnant, having trouble getting pregnant, had gotten pregnant. So all of a sudden I was thinking about it a lot. And so, because of that, I delved into the ins and outs and the risks and the risk factors of pregnancy and preconception health as it pertains to nutrition, and it's a big deal. The whole you are what you eat is damn it, it's true. And there's no amount of medicine that can get you off the hook for an inadequate diet. And so I kind of discovered all of this by accident. And so that's how I kind of narrowed myself down to fertility nutrition coach now. And that's how we got here. I also knew that eventually my husband and I were going to start a family, which we're currently doing. We're actually talking to Dr. Park right now at San Diego Fertility Center. So, we'll see where we go from here. But that was also another motive for me to sort of, concentrate my business around this particular niche.
Yeah, and it is, right? I think all of us it's quite funny because the same thing here. I kind of stumbled into doing this through having my children, and there was a need, and I felt that there was a huge fulfillment that I get from helping other people. And to your point, it's really important because you are what you eat, and I fundamentally believe that. And I have a cup of tea right here, so I am turning myself into a tea leaf. So if we look at what you've just said, right? So why don't we focus? You're looking at doing this yourself, right? So if I were a man coming to you going, what can I do to improve my sperm quality? What can I do to improve my part of the process? What would you say to them very high level? Because I think there's one part of the process that a lot of people overlook, and it's the sperm factor. A lot of people don't even realize that sperm could be part of the infertility problem or part of the issue. So what would you suggest to me if I was saying, hey, I'm thinking of having a baby and I'm struggling, or I'm thinking of having a baby?
Well, I would say thank you for being brave and doing your part. One statistic that everybody always throws out there first is that half of infertility cases are because of are involving the male in a heterosexual couple, and that can't go without. We can't ignore that. I find, and I feel confident in saying this, I find that most couples who are going through infertility struggles, it's always up to the woman to have to, brunt all the work. It's just how it is, and it's not right. And so if you're a man coming to me, admitting that there's an issue and you'd like some help, I would say congratulations on you. Your wife thanks you. What I would ask first is, a series of questions to figure out, like, what is it that you're doing with your body that could possibly be causing issues if you're having issues. But if you're not having issues and you're just coming to me for like preconceptional health, and I want to make sure my sperm are as healthy as possible to avoid adverse outcomes in the future, I kind of ask the same questions, and it's basically, what is your environment like? Are there any, contaminants or environmental factors that you could be avoiding, right? That comes in the form of like, what kind of plastic things are laying around your house, to what do you do for work, right? Are you exposed to some sort of contaminants? A lot of times those kinds of things can't be avoided, but it's good to know so that you can avoid the ones you can avoid.
Right.
That's where I go. From there, I'll go into more of a nutrition-based questioning. Do you drink? I know there's a bar behind me. You already called me out for that. But do you drink on a daily
I'm
basis?
just jealous because I have a cup of tea and I'm like, ooh, vodka now.
And then, to stay really high level, basically like what kind of proteins are you eating? What kind of carbohydrates are you eating? What kind of fats are you eating? What kind of vegetables? How much vegetables are you eating? And from there, that just those really simple questions, like what's on your plate, can tell a whole story about whether or not your sperm is going to be junk or is it not going to be junk.
Right.
Fortunately, it's kind of as easy as that. Unfortunately, it's so easy to mess up your sperm based on the types of foods you're putting in your body, for these two reasons. The two big threats to fertility, and this goes for women too, is oxidative stress and inflammation. Oxidative stress and inflammation are caused by lots and lots and lots of different things, but those are the two big threats to our fertility. So if we know that, that gives us a good place to sort of start to defend ourselves.
What do you mean by oxidative stress?
Okay. Oxidative stress is, we've heard of antioxidants. I feel like it's one of those things that we know antioxidants are great and good for our bodies, but we don't really know like what's the point, right? Oxidative stress happens when when the cells of your body, produce energy or use energy, which is what your cells are doing all the time, right? There's always regenerating and doing something. What they give off as like exhaust from a car, is reactive oxygen species, or ROS, in other words, oxidative stress. And that's happening in your body all the time. The trillions of cells are always creating oxidative stress. And it's okay because that's a byproduct, and we have a solution for that. Over billions of years, our body has learned how to take the foods that we eat and break them down and take out the components that can respond and neutralize that oxidative stress. So all the fruits and vegetables and berries that we're eating, we take components from them, and it helps us to neutralize that oxidative stress. What happens if we don't eat enough antioxidants, which a lot of times we're not, because we live in our current, modern industrialized world? What happens is this unchecked oxidative stress that's kind of floating around is destroying our cells. It's destroying our sperm, which is a cell. This is the thing that causes cancer. Basically, it's what it's destroying is not only the cell membrane, but also the DNA. It goes in and sort of messes with your DNA so that whenever the DNA is producing new cells, it produces the wrong kind of cell, or it's not producing at all. So this is where cancers come from, but it also comes from where aging kind of comes from, and sperm damage.
Cool. Okay. So basically, antioxidants are good. Contaminants are bad.
Yes.
I guess, yeah. And the wonderful thing about men is we produce sperm every 2.5 months, roughly every 72, 73 days. So whatever we do now can impact in 3 months' time. So we can force a change, right? So we can, if we change the way we're living, change the way we're eating, change the way we're doing, no smoking, no drinking, no drugs, antioxidants, things like that, that'll have quite a good impact on the sperm, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And then from a female perspective, what would you say there? I guess you're going to say same thing also, really, right? Antioxidants are good.
Yeah, basically antioxidants are good. What's funny is we often think of, what do men need very differently than what do women need in terms of nutrition. And while the mechanisms and the body parts are different, right? The fact that we're humans and the diets we've been consuming for billions of years of evolution are not. They're the same. So our bodies have learned how to use all of those vitamins and minerals and fatty acids and proteins. Our bodies have both learned how to use those same components to do very different things. So while our bodies, while a female is ovulating or while a female is maturing follicles to create eggs or whatever, she may be using the component parts of nutrients in a different way, but she's still using the same component parts as we are using to create sperm and to avoid sperm damage.
I did not know that, but it makes total sense. I mean, we are human beings at the end of the day. We are the same species, so therefore it makes sense that we would use the same things for the same things. Interesting.
It's kind of like this. If you owned a bakery, you probably order a lot of flour, sugar, eggs, butter, right? That's how you make all baked goods, right?
I love a baked good. Just gonna lie.
You may be really good at making like the croissants, while I may be good at making like the birthday cakes. And so that doesn't mean we need two totally different shopping lists. It just means we need to make sure we get plenty of those key ingredients so that we can both make our croissants and our birthday cakes at the end of the day.
And what a great way of explaining it. I mean, ultimately, right? So I think anybody who's looking at fertility, come to me because I love a croissant. I really do. But no, I think it's you're going to look at healthy foods, fruits, vegetables, anything with antioxidants for both male and female. And that's a really, I'd never even thought about it. So there we go. If I were to ask you one or two top tips for anybody who is currently thinking about this, right? Or struggling or not, or just, they're just like, okay, what can I do? Because I always say to people, exercise, cut out the alcohol, cut out the cigarettes. I mean, I think that most people would understand that part. But from your perspective, what is your top one or two tips?
I guess my top one or two tips, which I really want to say like 4 or 5.
You can say 4 or 5, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just going to give you my top 5 in order of 1 and 2 first, right?
There we go.
First of all, eat more fish. Eat more fish. I just talked about how antioxidants were really great, but the point of antioxidants is so that we can prevent oxidative stress from inflammation. Fish are where we get all of our omega-3s, our essential DHA and EPA omega-3s. This is the other part of inflammation. So it's all about avoiding inflammation. Eat more fish. Eat more fish. Fatty sea fish. There's a documentary on Netflix or something right now called Seaspiracy.
I know, I just watched it. I did too.
Right.
Don't eat fish.
It's very sensational. It's all, we should definitely be saving our world, and we should definitely be regulating the shit out of the fishing industry. We should be, but we cannot, especially if you're trying to have babies, we cannot stop eating fish. Sorry. It's just, we can't do it. And if we do, we're going to destroy our likelihood of fertility, producing healthy sperm, producing healthy children. Our live birth rates are going to drop. Our miscarriage rates are going to skyrocket. Our birth defects are going to be huge. And so, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And we can expect, the one thing that, or one of the things that we have has been a primary source of energy for again, billions of years of evolution. We can't expect to just stop eating it and like there be no repercussions. We need to eat fish. We just need to be conscious of where we're getting it from.
Exactly. So great point. One question for you on that. So I don't eat fish because I'm basically allergic to it. Not all of it, but enough that when I do, it's not great. Is taking omega-3 tablets, would that would that work? Instead of eating the fish, can I just take the tablets?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And for somebody like you who like has a known, you know, aversion or whatever, like maybe it's an allergy. For someone like you, for sure, you should be taking a supplement and not, you know, exacerbating something that's making you feel bad or you're having a reaction. But for someone who's not allergic, you know, we can't supplement everything. If we could, we would all not be eating, right? We'd all be like just taking pills every day and calling it a day.
Yeah,
we have to eat.
True.
We have to do it.
We have to. Exactly.
But you know, fish is not only is it you can get omega-3s from lots of different sources, but the reason it's important to come from fish or fish oil capsules in your case, is that that is where all of our DHA and EPA fatty acids come from. Those are the things that prevent a growing fetus from having neural tube defects, along with folate. These are the things that prevent our, you know, our sperm from becoming damaged and our eggs from becoming damaged. For the most part, and you can't get those essential DHA. And our body also can't synthesize these fatty acids like we can a lot of the other ones. So
that's cool. So that's top tip number 1: don't watch Seaspiracy and eat fish. What would number 2 be?
Eat more vegetables.
Eat more fruit. Eat more vegetables. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's like, no, well, I knew that.
Yeah. But it's true,
one of the
right?
things that I do, I know, one of the things that I do with any new client, you know, I like to form my coaching style out of what a client, I want to base it on their own internal motivations for change. Basically, I don't want to make somebody do a whole bunch of things that they don't want to do themselves. So I like to follow their lead, but what we end up doing first usually is just trying to figure out what's the baseline. What are you eating right now? And what we always learn, so we'll have go for like a week and like just write down everything you eat. What we always learn first is that we're eating so much fewer vegetables than we thought we were, and we're eating so much more carbs than we thought we were. That's probably not surprising, but what's surprising is just how much less vegetables we're eating. Like a lot of people, you know, I find like on a strategy call, will say like, you know what, I eat so clean, like I eat really well. I know that I'm eating, you know, I have a salad every day for lunch, blah, 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 blah. What people don't realize is that we think we're eating clean. We think we're eating enough, but we're just not. And until you really do the nitty gritty work and like look at it, you won't realize that you're not eating enough. And the reason why fruits and vegetables are important, as if I need to say it, I'm going to say it. The reason they're important is because that is where we get all of our micronutrients from. So all of your vitamins, all of your minerals, all of your antioxidants, all of your you know, the fibery kinds of foods that our gut bacteria like to eat. That's where all that stuff comes from. Carbs and fats, all of those things, that's our energy. That's where our body gets energy from. So we need that stuff too. But we don't have a problem getting enough of that stuff. So we don't need to focus as much on that as we do on vegetables, which is where all the component parts that our body uses to function come from. Fruits and vegetables.
I think I'm like, I don't think I've actually eaten any vegetables today. That's.
You probably, yeah.
I haven't actually. I know that for a fact because anyway, that's not good. I'm going to go and eat some beans or something, and green beans, not. But I mean, Joe, thank you so much. I mean, this is really very informational, and I think for all of our listeners, that is going to be just like it has to me. It's just sparked, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't eat any vegetables. I mean, you know, you think you do, you think you do, and then you get to the end of the day, and you're like, oh, I didn't do that. Oh dear. But anyway, so I just want to say thank you very much. Again, the Fertility Nutrition Coach, Instagram, you can find him there, find him anywhere basically. And if you want to get in touch with Joey, please send me an email. Most of you have my email by now. If not, it's rwesterby@sdfertility.com. And I can introduce you to Joey. So thank you very much, Joey. And we will talk again very soon, hopefully.
Thank you. I can't wait to tell you about the rest of my list.
Oh, we'll do 3 to 5 the next time.
All right. See you
Thanks a lot.
soon.
Bye.